I don't know about you, but I was dialed into the Movement for a People's Party convention last night. I watched Chris Hedges and others of my favorite lefties give stunning orations. I was excited for this new venture. Yesterday I featured Tom Barry on his YouTube channel, although I was a little bit nervous when he called the Green Party just another corporation. I didn't exactly disagree with him, but I also noted that the Movement for a People's Party could become just another movement that can be bought and sold by billionaires as well. If you followed this channel, you know how I feel about sheepdogs. Cenk Uygur is an example of a sheepdog. He received $20 million from Jeffrey Katzenberg of DreamWorks, Pixar, Hollywood cabal, and was able to rail against Hillary Clinton and against Joe Biden, and even a little bit against Elizabeth Warren, and suddenly tell us to vote for Joe Biden, just as he suddenly told us to vote for Hillary Clinton last time. I don't think Cenk Uygur is afraid of Donald Trump. I think he's a businessman who does what his donors tell him to do. Noam Chomsky, on the other hand, is a coward. He's simply afraid. He knows better than to tell us to vote for 40 more years of neoliberalism, and yet he does it anyway. Chris Hedges is not a coward, though, and so even though it's difficult, he tells us not to vote for neoliberals. He hates Trump at least as much as Noam Chomsky does. And like me, he agrees with a lot of what Noam Chomsky has said over the years, most of which will never be reported on by mainstream media, because Noam Chomsky has attacked mainstream media his whole career. So I'm willing to let people say Noam Chomsky is merely afraid of Donald Trump. But that's not true of Cenk the sheepdog, and it's not true of Chris Hedges, the true leftist. So as you probably guessed by looking at the pictures on my screen, I was deeply disturbed when we got to Dr. Cornel West's oration last night. I was enjoying his fiery oratory right until the moment he started talking about the debate between supporting Biden and not supporting Biden and voting green. That's when I remembered what Tom Barry said on his show that I covered yesterday. What I'm suspecting now is that there is some deep-seated hatred for the Green Party within the Movement for the People's Party. I don't know if that's Nick Brana or not, but it makes me wonder. The fact that Nick Brana would allow Cornel West to come on and tell us to vote for Joe Biden is deeply troubling, to say the least. With Cornel, I don't know if he's merely afraid or if he is a sheepdog. There's no way for any of us to know unless we see his tax returns. This may cause a schism between me and a lot of my friends. How can you attack Cornel West? They may say. How can you attack Noam Chomsky? Some will even say, how can you attack Cenk Uygur? Jimmy Dore doesn't attack Cenk Uygur. Why is that, Jimmy? Yes, this shit is deeply divisive. Yes, it threatens to blow up the Movement for a People's Party before it even gets started. I just want to tell all my wonderful brothers and sisters that I am the biggest hypocritical piece of rat shit our wonderful Lord God ever created. With that in mind, I hope you will all join me in helping support my wonderful brother Joe Biden and his friendly fascists by forming a new, brand spanking, glory, hallelujah, new rat party. We will call it the Anti-Eco-Socialist Party. Oh wait, that won't work. I know, we'll call it the Red Herring Party. No, I've got it, my brothers and sisters. We'll call it the People's Party. Yeah, that's the ticket, the People's Party. Only look, the Green Party, may those wonderful brothers and sisters rot in hell for opposing Brother Joe. Well, it took them 30 years to get the ballot line in 42 states. Let's really fuck them over. That was posted in a Facebook group called the Progressive Party. As you might predict, that caused some interesting discussions in the comments beneath. What's most disturbing is that progressives in this Progressive Party Facebook group were accusing this guy who posted this of applying the purity test. Only neolibs accuse people of applying the purity test. Progressives happily and without apology apply the purity test. We don't let that shit bother us. Yes, it's a fucking purity test. The purity test is that you aren't sold out to corporations. Joe Biden has been a corporatist from the day he was born. My good friend Joe Biden, says Bernie Sanders. No, this guy is a fucking racist, rapist asshole. When you vote for an asshole, you are endorsing that asshole. To my friends that have tried to get me to tone it down on this issue, I'm sorry. I don't care what the price is. This is fucking unacceptable. I'm done with Movement for a People's Party. I'm done with Nick Brana. I'm done with Dr. Cornel West. I don't care if you're cowards or sellouts. I just really don't care. This shit is unacceptable. I'll read you a few of the comments underneath. Marianne did a whole reason to vote Joe thing too. So, bye Marianne. The Progressive Party, whoever's running the Progressive Party, said, that's harsh. I love Cornel West. I don't agree with him saying he will support Biden, but I don't hate him for so reluctantly giving in. He's not a bad guy. He's just scared and is worried about what more of Trumpism will mean for the not too distant future. That's the bullshit we're seeing in Democratic Facebook groups, not progressive Facebook groups. So whoever's administering this group, I'm done with you too. You're a fucking sellout too. The guy who posted this, and he probably also did the original meme, says, he's the worst kind of rat, a sheepdog. Yes, a sheepdog is the worst kind of rat if you're the kind that Cenk Uygur is. But if you're a coward sheepdog, that's not much better. Then the Progressive Party comes back with, Cornel supported Jill Stein in 2016. He supported Bernie. He's working on creating a People's Party. He's just scared. I don't hate him for being scared. We don't need leaders who are scared. And we abso-fucking-lutely don't need leaders who are sheepdogs. And that includes you, the Progressive Party. And John Murphy comes back with the suspicious tone. The Progressive Party. Oh, I don't hate him. Let me see. Just how do I feel about someone who says he wants to break with the rats like the Greens did in 1996, but not join the Greens and start a People's Party? Now why would someone do something like that? Why would someone who supported Obama and Biden want to start a party that would take at least 30 years to get on enough state ballots to challenge the two-party system from the left, instead of urging people to join a hardcore eco-socialist party that already has those ballot lines? How do I feel about someone who would do something like that? Let me see. And I would go John one further. I would say we can just say goodbye to all the parties and just pile into the streets. Wildcat strikes and protests are probably what we need to be doing right now. Tom Barry wasn't wrong to say that the Green Party is just another corporation that can be bought by the billionaires, but the Movement for a People's Party is also just another group that can be bought and paid for by billionaires. And it's starting to look like that's happening already. If you're a progressive, you can't support corporatists. You can't call yourself a progressive unless you refuse to endorse corporatists. You can only call yourself a sheepdog if you spout progressive things and aren't willing to withhold your support from known corporatists. And the stealthy ones like Elizabeth Warren, once you find out what they're made of, then you have to disavow them too. And when anyone that you've trusted and believed in tells you that now you need to vote for Joe Biden, then you need to disavow them too. As painful as it may be, it's starting to feel like the Truman Show. I keep waiting to wake up one morning and realize that nobody was ever really a progressive. They were all just saying they were progressives and watching me and trying to get me to do stupid shit. It's like a big game where the whole point of it is to get me finally in the end to say, oh yeah, I guess Trump is that bad. I guess I will vote for Joe Biden. And then the whole thing is revealed to be a movie set and everyone starts laughing deliriously at me because I finally caved in. Where are my people? Where are the people who will never cave in? Where are the people who will instantly, without hesitation, reject any asshole who comes along and tells them, well, maybe we should vote for Joe Biden and cop Kamala? I replied to the Progressive Party, you are putting yourself in a horrible position right off the bat by not weeding out sheepdogs. Tom Barry on his YouTube channel says that the Green Party is just another corporation like the DNC. Well, you all are turning the MPP into just another movement that will eventually be co-opted by billionaires. True leftists, such as Chris Hedges, should walk away right now. MPP is dead if you allow sheepdogs. Cowardice, such as that displayed by Noam Chomsky, is no excuse. People like Cenk Uygur, who are being paid directly by the Clinton machine, are obviously non grata, but who knows if those who seem to be just afraid are not also being paid? Richard Johnson has a meme with Joe Biden saying, "Time to suck some billionaire cocks." Howard Casper has a meme with Glinda the Good Witch saying, "Are you a progressive Democrat or a corporate slave posing as a Democrat?" I like that one. Rob Lee Brown says, "I love Cornel West and the People's Party." And then John A. Murphy comes back with, "Can I interest you in some weapons of mass destruction or a bridge in Brooklyn? And let me tell you about those Russians. Why, you'll just never believe. These Nimrods just need to be slapped around. Lucas Ridding, you need to be slapped. Yeah, I completely disagree with shitting all over your allies because they disagree on electoral strategy. Allies don't tell you to vote for Joe fucking Biden." He says it's possible to have a difference of opinion without trying to turn the other party into some sort of caricatured monster. Look at what you're saying. This is why we've had neoliberalism for the last 40 plus years. Lucas, I don't know you, but I'm assuming you're a comfy Democrat. And I don't have to assume that your head is so far up your fucking ass that you have no idea what you're even saying. Then John comes back with, "Allies? For Christ's sake, with allies like Cornhole West, who the fuck needs enemies?" And that's the point. Then Brandy Cousins says, "Well, at least he's not a rapist." Oh, how low we've set the bar. Then Zeke says something I was thinking. What is it with the influx of right-wingers here lately? What they don't realize is that Zeke is reacting, I think, against the people who are upset with the post and not with the post itself. Colin Larkin says, "Everyone's allowed in, so we actually debate and talk. Also, that is a good opportunity you can use to convince more to switch sides or parties." The problem is when somebody says something like that, we don't know why they're saying it. Yes, debate is good. Yes, being open-minded is good. And then the fucking sheepdogs sniff out that open-mindedness and they say, "Oh, good. These people can be persuaded to vote for Joe Biden. Let's go in here with our open-minded and seemingly logical rhetoric and let's persuade them to vote for the corrupt DNC party and more neoliberalism from now until the end of time." This is interesting. Lucas says, "Well, sorta. He's still arguing for electoralism, just further left." I never bumped into the word electoralism. There's still a large swath of leftism out past believing that voting can change anything. And that's where we need to find ourselves. But whether or not voting can change anything, we have to stop endorsing neoliberals. We have to rise up out of our pastures and pens. We have to stop being slaughtered and milked and shorn. We have to figure out, we workers have to figure out, that we can't keep trying to vote our way out of this, while at the same time not endorsing with our votes a party that could nominate a racist rapist. I'll end with this thought. You can't call people allies when they tell you to vote for known corporatists. It just doesn't work.